want to protect our country? Do you believe in America? Well, have faith, because America will get strong again. America will rise again. Hello everyone, Aaron again. Alright, so now in my last video I ended it with a comment about you need to watch the stuff going on in Virginia. And I also said if you are not watching the stuff going on in Virginia, you need to start. And I mentioned that I believe that's where the Civil War was going to start, as for the first time in the country's history since 1776, a militia has been approved and formed for the sole purpose of protecting U.S. citizens' rights from unconstitutional laws being passed by a state senate. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't looked into it, if you haven't been paying attention, Virginia is trying to pass a red flag law and a gun confiscation law. Now, that's the gist of it. That's what they're trying to do. There's been a lot of uproar and backlash going on throughout the state of Virginia since this has come to the public's eye. Gun owners are finally uniting and standing up. We're seeing a conservative pushback all over the nation, but Virginia is the first place that an armed skirmish is going to happen. They are having a gun rights rally at the Capitol building today, January 16th, 2020. It has gotten so serious that for the gun rally, the governor has banned firearms near the Capitol due to credible threats of violence. Now, this was last night. Now, this morning, plastered all over the news, is Virginia's actually declared a state of emergency due to, again, credible threats of violence and uprising. I've seen things about they want to call in the National Guard. I don't know if that is true or not, but this is what we need to pay attention to, America. This is what I've been saying since my very first video, that we are on the brink of a civil war, that I feel the only way to take our country back is through the means of force. Now, I don't know if this will lead to the country dividing, but I'm telling you, between Portland and the Antifa bullshit up there, and the shit going on in Virginia, the first armed skirmish, as it takes off in Virginia, if that happens in Virginia, I guarantee within a week you see an armed skirmish in Portland, because the Proud Boys and some conservatives and 3%ers have been clashing with Antifa for months now. It's been that everything you're seeing of all these Antifa attacks, 90% of them are all coming out of Portland. So most of this shit's going on in Portland. I guarantee after an armed skirmish in Virginia, the people in Portland are going to respond with their own militant actions. Now, at this point, there are over 500 militias throughout the United States of America. That is more than double the number we had in 2008 before Obama was elected. People have been preparing since that day. I've been keeping an eye on things since that day. I have told many of my friends that the time is coming. We will see a war in our generation. I believe that time has finally come. Pay attention to Virginia. That's where it's going to start. And from there, you will see a surge across the nation of the militias rising up. There is a militia in every single state, with numbers from 20 to 100,000 plus per militia. There's also nationwide militias, the 3%ers, those types of names that everybody's heard. Militias have been involved in some of the big standoffs leading up to this, including the Bundy Ranch standoff. Everybody knows about that. This is what it's all been shaping up for, folks. It's now or never. If something happens in Virginia, it is time to fight back. It is time to take our country back. Once the violence begins, the only way to end it is through more violence. If a gun confiscation bill actually makes it through any state senate, that should be an immediate call for a revolution. There should be an immediate call for an uprising. Because the only reason they want to take away our guns is because they're going to do something we'd shoot them for. Simple as that. I'm telling everybody, watch the stuff in Virginia. Research it. Pay attention to it. Almost everybody I know is looking into ammo or guns this weekend. Just to kind of show you what it is. I even know a couple people that are going to be looking into MREs. You're going to be looking into MREs or other dried food. Maybe even talk to family members about rendezvous points and, you know, a simple bug out plan, just so you have a fucking plan if something happens. Because if it does happen, chances are, even if it happens in Virginia, you're not going to know when it's going to start in your state or your area. I mean, you know, somewhere like Chicago, which is closer and has a more animosity between the conservatives and the liberals, then, like, I mean, we clash here in Colorado, but a lot of that Antifa rallies and the fighting and that bullshit, the blocking the traffic and protesting, that stuff never seems to make it here. And that, I don't know why, but it never really seems to make it here. So I have a feeling we'd have more time than a place like Chicago or a place like LA or Portland. Those are going to be some of the first places. Some of the more rural areas or the more conservative areas such as Texas, they're probably going to have to take the fight to the Democrats. Pay attention to Virginia. The revolution may be starting before our very eyes. All right, everybody. That's it for today.